I'm Paula Sorrells-Bean, guest host for today's program. And with me, I have Melissa Prather, who is the CEO of New Africa Network. Welcome, Melissa, to our program.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you with us today, and are looking forward to hearing about your organization, New Africa Network, and about the other organization that you are a part of, and what you're doing in Africa.
Thank you.
Would you start out, Melissa, by telling us what your mission statement is for the New Africa Network?
Well, New Africa Network mission is to develop Africa into one of the most intellectually gifted continents using computer-based technology methods. We're trying to introduce them to e-learning, learning online as we do in many of our Western developed countries. And this will be a way for them to not have to travel outside of their continent to be educated, and that they can stay at home and get educated from any university that offers online learning.
And when did you start your program?
We have started two. Organization for African Migration that deals with illegal migration was started in January of 2018, and just recently I said, okay, this is needing to be a little bit bigger because we only deal with illegal migration. And so some more members and myself, we developed New Africa Network. And even though the headquarters is in Nigeria, we encompass all of Africa. And that's why it's called New Africa. And it's a way we're planning to rebrand Africa. Each member, they're also responsible for sending in pictures when they're joined. And we also put them up on our website to show that the African continent is really a beautiful place.
Wonderful. Now, when you say member, what exactly who is a member, and how did they become a member?
Okay. Actually, all of us were on LinkedIn. I'm not plugging LinkedIn, but that's how we all met. We're all business individuals, and we're all, I wouldn't say highly intellectual, but most of us are highly intellectual individuals, and most of us are on LinkedIn. So we just kind of met up on LinkedIn, and we each saw what our companies were doing and what we were trying to accomplish in Africa. And so we all just linked up together and started from there.
Okay, so that's how your organization.
That's how my organization. That's how our organization got started.
Wonderful.
A bunch of business intellectuals on LinkedIn said, "Hey, we can really make some changes. Let's just group together and get this done."
Now, you're the CEO. Do you have other members who have official titles within your organization?
Yes, it is an actual organization, and we have board members. There are 17 of us. So we have from lawyers to ministers of education, from doctors and ministers, and then we have a lot of teachers that are in our organization.
Wonderful. So it sounds like a very diverse group.
It's very diverse and very vast.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So will you be looking for others to be a part of that team, or are you kind of set right now?
No, we're looking for others. We're looking to partner with other NGOs here in the U.S. Because we're going to need more help, especially because it's a global issue, so we're going to need global help.
Right.
But yes, we're looking for more NGOs to partner with us.
Okay, just in case someone doesn't know what an NGO is, tell us what that what NGO stands for.
Okay, non-government organization. That's NGO. But you have some people get it confused with a nonprofit organization. Nonprofit organization is something totally separate from an NGO. An NGO means that it's non-government. No government entity is involved with anything that we do, even though we do have to have permission from certain governments to maneuver in certain ways. but that's what NGOs stand
Okay, and that includes no government funding.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So where does your funding come from?
Our funding comes from fundraising and just nonprofits donating funds to our organization. At the moment, we've all kind of just been pitching in together, and when we want to do projects to fund certain projects. Right now, they're small projects that we're doing, which is, well, we consider them small, but the communities consider them large. We give donations to orphanages, and we give donations to primary schools.
In West Africa?
In West Africa,
Okay.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So why did you choose West Africa? What took you to that particular location on the globe?
Actually, how I ended up getting involved with Africa is, believe it or not, when I saw Obama, I said, okay, if Obama can go in 2009, if that's the first place that he wanted to go see was Ghana, and he visited the slave councils. Even though my ancestors, of course, is slave ancestors, I never even thought to go back to see where everything originated from. So I said, wow, if he can go, then let me go back and see. And so I visited in 2011, and as soon as my feet touched the continent, that was it. I was in love with West Africa, Ghana. Beautiful people, beautiful culture, but you can see that there's a lot of need there as far as education, needing to be brought up to speed and things like that.
Okay. So do you see a division? We talked earlier about there are some well-educated people there, but then you've also got on the other end a lack of education.
Yes, yes.
So
what ends up happening is West Africa is on like a class system, something that we're not used to in the U.S. And most of your politicians or well-to-do business people can send their children out of West Africa to be educated, such as a lot of them go to the UK, many of them come to the US. For students that are gifted enough to win a lottery visa, they come that way to be educated. But most of your typical families can't afford to send their family members out of the country to be educated. And inside of the country, their education is not funded. So even inside of their country, they have to pay for their education. After primary, everything is paid for from the family members. So everyone ends up getting money together and to just support one individual. It's like I'm putting all my hope on you to get educated so that you can come back and support the family. That's how the system is set up.
So the primary grades, they go for free?
Most of the primary grades are through government schools.
Okay.
And even though they're not free, they're at a price where people can afford to send them.
Okay.
But once after primary, as soon as you get to junior high, high school, and university, you're on your own. Everyone has to pay for their education.
Okay. All right. Do you find that a lot of people come to the United States or other places to get a higher education and then go back to Ghana to take what they've learned back to help their people progress further?
Just recently, we've had a shift where the diaspora will go back. But unfortunately, once most of them get outside of their country, they get used to the infrastructure because the infrastructure is better outside of Ghana and outside of West Africa, period. But what we're trying to do is to have the government invest more in their infrastructure and also invest more in their youth and to entice them to stay at home. And one way to do that would be e-learning, make it accessible for everyone to e-learn. And that way they can retrain in agriculture because now agriculture has become fun. They have digital farming now, where people use drones and things like that. And now the smartphone have really changed, because now you can check the weather, whereas before you'd have to stand out and look up and see if it's going to rain or not, if you see some clouds coming over.
So
But
true.
yeah,
Isn't it?
but now you have digital technology right at your fingertips. So we want to make it fun and exciting for youth to stay and invest in farming, and that can also increase their income, and where they're not having to travel out to these most dangerous places to try to better their lives.
Right, right. Do you anticipate getting any help from the government there?
Where we're at this point, we're requesting help from everyone and from everywhere, because, like I said, it's a global problem. So we're going to need a global solution, and even we have problems in the U.S. from illegal migration, and we have the same problem because they're coming here to better their lives, and some of them, when they come, because they're not educated, they have a hard time getting their feet under them, even though we try to assist them as much as we can. So we're going to need funding and assistance from anyone who's willing to help.
Okay. Because it's e-learning that you're focusing on, do you anticipate needing or wanting individuals to travel to West Africa to assist with some of these programs?
Yes, what we're requesting is, yes, you're going to have to at least come visit, because many people haven't visited. And actually, the internet has really taken off. It's just we need an IP for a particular type of system and software, which is e-learning. It's very common here in the U.S. Everyone, when you get online, every university is trying to get you to come to their university, and they says, oh, you don't have to even leave your house. We have e-learning. So we want to use the same concept there. So yes, there are companies that we want to come and look and see what they can do. And we're even, at this point, we're even able to put you up. If you get there, we can show you around and show you some of the universities and show you what they're in need of. And for e-learning, we're going to need software. We're going to need the servers. We're going to need the IP addresses and things like that. We're going to need network techs to set the system up. We're going to need software developers, and it's a big job, but I think that is doable.
Great. And how will you reach the people in West Africa and Ghana or Nigeria or whatever particular area that you're in? How will you reach those people?
Actually, that's where new digital technology comes in. Everyone just about now has a smartphone, and the way we communicate now is through Facebook. We communicate through Zoom. So we're already using the platform. We just want to use it on a bigger scale. And I can be at home, and even now I'm talking to people in Tunisia. I'm talking to people in Egypt. Because we all use Facebook, we all use Zoom, we all use webinars to communicate. And just Wednesday, this coming up Wednesday, all of the heads and the boards, we're going to use Zoom so that we can communicate and talk about where we need to go next. And that's how the platform that we want to also use for the universities. Some teachers, they don't even have to be in West Africa. They can be in Texas or Tennessee, wherever, but we can streamline them into the classroom. And teachers can come in from everywhere and teach students.
So are you starting with a particular curriculum and program certain classes in the beginning, or will it be?
I'm having students coming from all over, and I have help. I have teachers coming from all over, some from South Africa. I have a hardware developer. He's coming from Nigeria, and a lot of the computers, software, engineering will be taught from people from Nigeria to Ghana to all over West Africa. So what I'm wanting is for our Western developed countries is to come there, train them these different software and engineering type computer classes so that they can teach others.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really exciting to see that you're moving forward with a program like this. When do you anticipate, are you doing classes now, or when do you anticipate beginning classes?
I will anticipate classes starting around the time that the school system set up here. I will be relocating to Ghana in July, and we're at this moment though, we're already kind of petitioning a nonprofit for computers. So we're just kind of waiting to see what that reply will be.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, I just don't want to depend on just one group to donate, because it's not going to be possible for one group to donate to all of Africa computers. But as I was saying, I will be relocating to Ghana in July, and I have help, and I'm hoping to have everything set up by August for the school term to start back. And Blue Mountain College, which is my alma mater, they've instructed me how to build my curriculum, and I'm going to use a Mississippi-based standardized curriculum, because I'm wanting them, the students there, if they choose, after they've had their education to high school or what have you, if some of them are lucky enough to come to the U.S. or to the U.K., they already have the same base curriculum. So they can just step right in and says, okay, you've already had the same standardized testing in high school, so now you should be able to go right to college, and they will be able to fit in.
Okay, and you have a school location set up there already?
I already have an area that I've kind of picked in Ghana, and I've kind of already started buying some of the equipment with my own funds, but I have a broad base there to draw on. I have a lot of people there to help me in Ghana. And like I said, Dr. Ya, who is the education administrator of Ghana, the minister of education, which is, he has all of Ghana under his belt. So he's part of our organization, so I'll be able to lean on him pretty heavily to get everything complete.
And I would assume that you want the same kind of computer?
Yes.
What particular computers are you looking for?
At the moment, we're I've just bought all laptops.
Okay.
And we're also just using simple monitor screens. And that way, I'm setting it up almost like a library, because basically that's what it's going to be. We wanted to put like a library in each school, so that each class would have, take turns in being able to access the computer lab. And that's how my school will be. It will have a regular curriculum, but it will also have at least starting out 20 to 40 computers as a computer lab.
Okay.
And it would be like a pilot school. I'm not planning on doing more than 40 students starting out.
Okay.
And at this point, we're trying to figure out how we're going to, pick these different students and what will be the criteria for them to be able to join the school. But they will have access to not only the computer lab, they will also have access to chemistry labs also, where they'll be able to probably, for some of them, the first time see a digital microscope. There's microscopes that can take pictures and things like that. And a lot of them have never even touched one or held one. So
Very exciting.
yes.
Yeah, that's great. So back to the computers, is there a particular, I don't want to say brand, but type
No,
of computer?
there's-
So just whatever?
There's no brand, there's no type,
Okay.
there's don't have to even be new.
Okay.
As long as they're used and in fair condition. Our organization is ready to take any donations, and we also make sure that all computers that are donated, they are what I would consider tagged, and we also have different heads in every region that go out to the schools to make sure the computers are actually at the schools being used and for what we want them to be used for.
Okay, great. All right, well, what other information would you like to share with us about your organization, the people maybe that you're looking for?
At the moment, we're looking for any teacher that is interested in this summer, if you're wanting to do what we consider international teaching. I will be, like I said, I will be in Ghana this fall, July and through August, and everything will be set up. So any of the teachers who are interested in participating, just get with me and let me know. And the same for anyone who wants to make donations of any of your old computers and your old servers and backup systems, because we're going to need everything. You're free to donate, and we would really appreciate it.
What other types, or what types of individuals, I know we talked a little bit about your board, is there any particular skill or background experience that you would be looking for in a board member?
At the moment, even though our board members are mostly business individuals, no, we're not looking for any particular criteria. Anyone, matter of fact, the more diverse a board is, the better.
Absolutely.
You know, so we're ready and gladly able to have anyone as a board member, because you know you may have ideas that we didn't think of, you know, and that's why we want to diversify our board, and it can be from anywhere. So we're ready for anyone to join the board.
Great, wonderful. And fundraising, I know we touched on that a little bit earlier. Do you have a fundraising event coming up, or do you have?
Actually, I'm planning a fundraising event, and it will be before I leave in July, and with the help actually of my children, and we're wanting to get the kids in the school age, but we will gladly accept anyone who wants to join. But what we're going to do is the same as usual. We're doing a fundraiser by selling different candies and cakes and things. What we in the South call a bake-off, that's for me. I bake and I cook. So that's what we're doing. We're having a bake sale to raise funds to save up for computers.
And how would people find out more about that?
That will be posted on the website and on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And I would try to, anyone who's interested, like I said, just email me and I will keep you posted on that. My email is Doris, DORIS, @pratherglobal.org, PRATHERGLOBAL.org. Phone number is 203-525-3218.
Wonderful. And do you want to say anything more about the Organization for African Migration?
The Organization for African Migration is more of illegal migration. And what we do for them is we hold different seminars in different parts of West Africa. And we're trying to explain to people that it is safer not to get yourself in danger by illegally traveling outside of the country when you don't have proper papers. A lot of times they end up getting into situations that they can't get out of. They get into human trafficking and things like that. So that's why we're also wanting to re-educate, them to stay in their area and get their education and work there.
That sounds great. That's wonderful. I'm really excited about all the things that you're doing.
Thank you.
The other question that I have about your school is the age of the students that are what time frame in their lives
Yes.
are the schools directed for?
What I'm wanting to do is, because I'm wanting to also collect data to see how, if any change is occurring, I'm wanting to do primary to high school and follow them from primary on up through high school. And then when they start college, I want to see if having computers have made a difference, if having access to e-learning has made a difference. So yes, we're starting from primary. So primary would be from the age of 6 up to 18. So we would do primary, middle, and high school, what we consider kindergarten, junior high, and high school here in the U.S.
And are you trying to ultimately find computers for all those ages? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And but what we're trying to do is have the computers, like I said, as a lab, and the school that I'm actually getting ready to build, primary, middle, and high school will be in the same location. So every school, each of the classes will have access to the lab. They would just have it on different days of the week, that type of thing.
Wonderful. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add to our conversation today? Anything that
no,
make sure that the listeners know?
Yeah, I think that we've covered about everything that I can think of at the moment. Again, we're asking for anyone, if you ever want to get involved, you're free to do so. We would really appreciate it. We'd be very grateful. And even if it's just call and say, hey, maybe you need to think about doing it this way or think about doing it that way. We're open to any suggestions. And I thank you all for listening.
Would you tell us, Melissa, one more time your website and how they can contact you by phone?
Okay. My phone number, again, is 203-525-3218. And my email is Doris, DORIS, @pratherglobal.org.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Paula Sorrells-Bean for the Nonprofit World, encouraging you to find your passion and make a difference in someone's life today. Thank you.